Hey there, friend. It's Kristen from Raising Disciples Mom, where I help Christian moms move beyond the yelling and build relationships with their children. So every few weeks, I take a question from a parent and give a little coaching or a little advice. And today's topic is patience in parenting, which I know really hits close to home for a lot of us moms. And this is from an anonymous person on reddit.com. So her question was, I have a 3.5-year-old daughter who I love more than the world. I made it my goal to work on patience with her. I've been doing so good, trying to remind myself that she's just a child. These past couple of days, I've been unable to control my angry outbursts. Simple things like her refusing to brush her teeth or picking up her toys have enraged me. I feel so horrible for yelling at her. I've been trying to walk away and give myself a few seconds, but it only helps temporarily. I could really use some tips and pointers, what works for other parents when they feel their patience wearing thin. I don't want to be this angry parent. Both my mom and my dad are impatient people, and I don't want to continue the cycle with my own children. So let's dive into it. So patience is not something that we're all innately born with, right? Some of us might have more of it than others, but the good news is it is a skill that we can learn. As this mom was saying, it's not something she grew up with either, and I know a lot of us can relate to that, right? We might not have had the best examples of patience. So it's definitely a skill that we can learn and work on. And at the root of it is self-control. And definitely is something that we want to be going to the Lord, asking for Him to give us the strength to be in control and to grow in patience every day. So first things first, I want to give major credit to this mom because here she is. She has this goal that she wants to be more patient. And so she's aware that there is a change that she wants to happen. And she wants to make that change. She wants to be a better parent. She wants to grow in that area. And so it really is the first step is just being aware that there's a change that you want to make and then starting to take steps towards that change. And she's already started doing that by practicing walking away for a few minutes and just being more aware of what's going on with her and her daughter. But she says, she's been trying to walk away and it just helps temporarily. So my question to her would be, how do you know that it's not working or that it's only temporarily? Often we have created these habits in our lives, and if we are angry and allowing ourselves to reach a boiling point, our habit could be we don't deal with our emotions earlier on and we wait till they boil up and we have an angry outburst, right? And so those habits are really hard to change. And so it's not to say that walking away isn't working or that it's only temporary. It's more accurate to say this is a new habit you're trying to create and change is hard. Keep working at it. Don't give up because you're making steps in the right direction. So I also wanted to add 3 habits for parents to work on to really help them dealing with their frustrations or anger in a healthy way, and that helps them ultimately grow in their patience in their parenting. So the first one is to really define who you are at your core. And so what I have been learning in a coaching program that I'm a part of and I wanted to share with you guys is to just draw a big circle, and I call this your core self. Write down the characteristics that you want to be as a mom. If you want to show up as patient, write that inside the circle. If you want to show up as in control, then write that down. Maybe you want to have more empathy and be growing in that area. So, or emotionally available. Whatever it is that at your core being that you desire to be, it's really the desires of your heart. Put that in that circle, that core self circle. And that is really what your goal is, what you're striving for, and what you're really seeking the Lord to help you to grow in. So after you've done that, you have a goal, you have an idea of who you want to be. The second thing is to check in with your feelings, and really that is taking a pause. So taking a pause is definitely something that you can start becoming aware of, and it's a habit you can create. It's tough, like working out. It takes practice and training, and it's painful, but taking a pause is definitely something that you can be growing on and practicing, and God will give you the strength to do it. So it's just taking time throughout the day instead of allowing yourself to boil up and shoving your emotions when you get upset about something. I know as busy moms, sometimes we just feel like we have to keep going. There's no time to take a break, and so we just push things down instead of dealing with them. And that's really not a healthy way to do it, because then they do boil up and they do boil over, and we take them out on their kids, or we do things that are not part of that core self of who we want to be and who God designed us to be and created us to be. So taking that deep breath might be taking that pause might be taking a deep breath. Or it might be going in your room, locking the door for a few minutes, and just talking and praying to God out loud. And so you can brainstorm a whole bunch of ways for you to take a pause throughout the day, and then start becoming aware of when you need to take a pause, when you're angry or frustrated or upset, or you feel offended or you feel hurt. Just take a pause and take that deep breath, or go to your room and take a break. And then the third step is to ask 3 key questions. And so this is during that pause, you can ask these questions. If you went to your room and locked the door and you're praying, you can ask, what am I feeling? Because it's really important to become aware of what our emotions even are. What are my thoughts? Because we're all telling ourselves a story, right? And so it's really our thoughts that lead to the emotion or feeling. If this mom, for example, is thinking, my child is being defiant, she's not listening, she is giving me a hard time about brushing her teeth, I'm just fed up with it, then of course she's gonna feel frustrated and mad, right? So it's our thoughts that come first, and then our feelings. And then the third question you want to ask yourself, and really going to the Holy Spirit with this, is, okay, and then the third tip is to ask yourself 3 key questions. And these questions are, what am I feeling? Because it's really important to become aware of what you're feeling and what your emotions are. The second one is, what are my thoughts? Because we're all telling ourselves a story of some kind, our narrative in our head. And so it's really the thoughts that come first, and then the emotion and feelings. So for example, if, let's say we knew what this mom was thinking, and she was thinking, my child's being defiant, she's giving me a hard time, she's not listening, of course you're going to start to feel upset and angry and frustrated. And it's not to feel guilty about how you feel or your thoughts, is not to condemn yourself. It's just to get curious about what is going on in your head. And then the third question to ask yourself is it true? And this is where we really want to go to God and the Holy Spirit to help us see the truth. Because sometimes the things we believe in our thoughts are not true. Maybe they're assumptions. Maybe we have unrealistic expectations. And so we want to be living in truth and reality and seeking the Lord's guidance for this. So after you do those steps and you start practicing them of taking a pause, asking yourself those questions, you will start to calm down. And then you can think more logically to work on positive solutions with your child. And so, for example, if teeth brushing is a pattern or where the trouble is in the evening, one step you can take is try to establish a routine with your child. You could ask motivational questions like, what do you need to do to get your teeth clean, instead of telling your child, go clean your teeth, go brush your teeth. You can give them limited choices. You can say, hey, do you want to put on your PJs first or brush your teeth? You could also try to have a little family meeting with your child. Now, 3.5 is pretty young for a family meeting, but it could be a very short family meeting where you say, hey, I've noticed that brushing your teeth is hard for you to do. Can you help me think of ideas that will help you want to brush your teeth at night? And so getting your child involved in that decision making is so powerful, and they are motivated to want to do and want to cooperate with things. And then another idea could just be, hey, it's time to brush teeth. Let's do it together. And go together. And mom gets her toothbrush and she comes over in in the kids' bathroom and brushes the teeth with daughter. And kids love doing things with their parents, and it's fun for them. So before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a powerful reminder from 2 Corinthians 12:9 that says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." So rely on God for your strength. Ask Him for help in taking those pauses and taking those moments to process your emotions and process your thoughts. And you're going to be growing in patience. So if that was helpful for you, make sure you subscribe and check out the other videos. If you have your own parenting question, click on the link below, submit it, and maybe we'll get to your question next time. So God bless, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.